And now I'd like us to return to Senate Bill 37, and this is President Ruggerio's bill. We've had the opportunity to work on this together, but Mr. President, if you would like to explain your bill.
Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the committee. Some of you have seen this bill before. It's been kicking around for a couple of years. The Plastic Waste Reduction Act would prohibit single-use plastic shopping bags in Rhode Island. It would require that any bag made available by an establishment be reusable and made of recyclable paper. We've all seen unsightly litter caused by single-use plastic bags flying around in the wind, getting caught up in trees and all around the environment. Americans use 100 billion plastic bags a year, and they only recycle 1% of those bags. The vast majority obviously ends up in our landfill and in our environment. Cities and towns pay for bags dumped into the landfills. The plastic bags also break down into smaller pieces known as microplastics, which release toxic chemicals into not only our food but into our water system and can be harmful to human and animal health. More than half the population of Rhode Island live in a community with a plastic bag ban. This bill would apply statewide as it uses the most stringent standards, requiring stitch handles on allowable bags to prevent a switch to thicker plastic bags to skirt the rule. Out of concern for low-income consumers, the legislation does not impose a fee. I'm grateful to the environmental advocates who have worked closely with me over the years to develop and approve this legislation, and to my colleagues on this committee and in the Senate who in the past have passed different versions of this bill. Madam Chair and members of the committee, I'm willing to entertain any questions anyone might have.
Thank you, Mr. President. I want to thank you for introducing this bill. I know that we have worked on this for a number of years, and one of the things I said in the committee, it's hard to remember if it was last year with the COVID time warp or if it was the year before, but I do remember discussing this at a very lively committee meeting. And I think one of the things about this bill is that it really does recognize all of the work that folks have been doing on the ground to make sure, on the municipal level to get these bag bans, and really building off of that work and that momentum. So I want to thank you for your leadership on this and all of your hard work, and hopefully this will be the year that we can bring it across the finish line. Mr. President, I believe you're muted.
I want to thank you very much, Madam Chair, for the help that you've given me in the past and the suggestions that you made to improve this legislation. So I want to thank you and the members of the committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Are there any other questions for the President on this legislation? And I can't see the screen, so if anyone wants to weigh in with any questions.
Yes, Madam Chair, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Are there any substantial changes to this bill from the bill we last passed out of committee?
The changes, Senator, were very subtle. It was really nothing. It was more tweaks than substantive changes. So I think it's virtually the same bill that we had looked at last year.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair?
Go ahead, Senator Archambault.
Yes, thank you. First and foremost, may I be counted as present? Sorry, I had to come from my office to my house. And secondly, I want to commend the President on this bill. I've argued on this thing for years to the point where I did so much talking I felt I shouldn't say anything anymore. It's overdue. We've all picked up plastic bags along the roadsides. And every year I take the trash barrel at the end of my driveway and drag it down along my rural road and pick up so much trash that, my head turns red from anger. And most of it's plastic and plastic bags. And why they get thrown out, I don't know. How they seem to collect on the roadsides and in trees, I don't know. But this is a step in the right direction, and we're all going to have to relearn our behaviors. And so thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Archambault. Would you also like to be recorded in the affirmative on any votes that you missed?
Yes, thank you very much for thinking of that.
You're welcome. Thank you. Are there any other questions for the Senate President? Okay. Seeing none, thank you, Mr. President.